Sorry about that. This is a continuation of what I was doing there. One of my kids just came tromping into the room. Teenagers are so inconsiderate. Continuing October 6th, 2:30, 3 o'clock, somewhere in there, a.m. But yeah, if it's a 4 or 5, we could be in real trouble. I mean, a 3 is going to be unpleasant, but I don't know. I'm not going to lie, I am concerned, you know. I don't know. Oh, yeah, something I'm seeing all over the news, and I want to debunk this in case anybody's hearing this. I know there have been people, especially the orange guy, saying that the federal government is not helping disaster relief in the, as far as like response for Helene. That is a complete and total lie. Every governor in the southern states has now gone on record, made public statements saying, no, they've been helping us the whole time. So over this guy. Because it's continuing, even though the people that he's even talking about are taking to microphones and saying, no, that's not true. The guy just won't stop with the misinformation. And then we'll call them news agencies, even though that's giving them a lot of credit. They're echoing what he's saying, and then he's turning around and saying, I heard it on the news. Yeah, you heard it on the news because you gave them the dialogue to recite. That's not how journalism works. Apparently it's how politics works, but just quit being part of the problem, you know? Aggravating. Just shut up and go to jail already. And again, I know I've said this before, and I've had people tell me, well, courts are there, to decide that. We've watched him do crime in broad daylight. The only complication here is finding a jury that can be unbiased because they haven't already seen it and will actually listen to the evidence and draw a conclusion from what they hear. But as long as they have 3.5 ounces of common sense, there's really no other answer that a fair-minded jury can come up with. I mean, we've seen evidence in public. You know what I mean? It's just reading somewhere. I've seen some ridiculous arguments online over the past couple days. Somebody in a comment, I think it was on YouTube, it was on like a news thing, somebody made the comment about, because it looks like Trump may be grifting off of Helene in that he hasn't, but his campaign finance manager, which is an extension of him, has set up a GoFundMe for relief for victims of Helene. But they're not saying how they're going to do the money or distribute it or anything like that, even though the Red Cross and all kinds of other organizations are out there and they can take donations directly. But, because he's very concerned that the federal government isn't helping, so he's going to do a GoFundMe. Yet another grift. But somebody pointed out that he had run a couple of other charities, including one in New York, where the whole thing was fraud, and New York basically closed down the charity for him and said you're no longer allowed to run or operate any charities here in New York. Somebody brought that up in the comments, which I'm cool with because, reality. And then someone, you can say reply and it'll bring their name down, and basically you're talking directly to them, you're rebutting or having a conversation directly with that person. And they called him a liar and said, what are your sources? It was a legal case a couple years ago, and it was incredibly public. I'm willing to bet. I don't know if Fox covered it. If they did, I'm sure they put their own particular spin on it. That it was part of this witch hunt or something like that. Because, that's what they do. But it's just ridiculous because it's like, sources? This was in plain sight. The court case was national news. Are you serious right now? Are you just being a troll? I'm happy that I think 60, maybe even 70% of us are aware of these shenanigans. I mean, that's the good side, It keeps reminding me of that scene in John Carpenter's The Thing, where Kurt Russell has basically the flamethrower, and he's got a couple people, tied to the couch, and he says, I'm guessing that some of you are still human, or if you all were those things, you would have already jumped me by now. It kind of reminds me of our situation, just because I feel like his wheels are turning a little bit, because Kurt Russell is he's a fantastic actor, but I kind of infer from that scene that he's also doing the math of, I think there's probably more humans than things in this room, because the same thing would happen. If it was 6 on 2, they'd probably just go for it. You know what I mean? But if it's 5 humans and 2 things, they might not like their odds. So, yeah. But that's where we are right now, as a society that actually is 60 to 70% aware of what is reality and what is not. So that part's encouraging, I think. Oh man, I just don't even know anymore. But yeah, no, I wanted to check in. I'm gonna try and get this up in the next day or whatever. I may have to go radio silent for a bit if this thing hits us and we lose power. I record on my phone, that's not a problem, and we've got some solar chargers, but I don't know. Hi, Luther. I don't know how well I can sync this up to my YouTube channel. I have a decent phone, but it's not, that amazing. It's good. It's not necessarily that kind of next level yet. Checked in with my parents. They're okay. My mom was going to double check their supplies and call me tomorrow if she discovered that, hey, we need this. That way I could place the order or get it to them or what have you. I don't really know what to say here. I just really need it to stay a Cat 3 or get weaker, Because the alternative, we're not in a flood zone on the bright side of that part of it. So I don't think we're going to have, unless that storm surge is, I mean, I know it's going to be, a real thing, but unless it's like really huge and goes really far inland, I think we'll be okay. Because there are a lot of areas in our area, neighborhood wise, that do get a little floody in extreme weather. Because Irma, and we've seen some other ones roll through here that have been noteworthy. Typically our front yard gets a little swampy, but our house is kind of sloped. The house proper may become a bit of an island, but we've never actually had the dangers of flood. Coffee makers talking back. I'm more worried about, 140 mile an hour winds. I don't know. Obviously, I'll keep you posted as best I can. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. I apologize. This is going to be two different vids. I'm trying to push pause and I pressed stop instead, and I can't combine the footage on my phone. So, say a prayer for us and make it a great day. And if you're also in Florida, I'm praying for you too. Because, yikes. Exactly. Again, make it a great day.